I think it was Albert Einstein who said, insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. Compared with animals, we humans engage in a host of behaviors that are often destructive to our own kind and to our own selves. We lie, we cheat, we steal, stress out, kill ourselves and others. We are nasty, spiteful, self destructive, and hurtful. And we wonder why we engage in such kind of destructive behaviors. One thing is very clear, all that human beings do is behave and behave. From the time we wake up till we go to bed, we keep behaving. But the interesting fact is, vast majority of the people do not know why they behave and how they behave. If at all we understood our behavior in every situation, a lot of problems in life could have been averted. Because repeated behavior becomes a pattern, and patterns are difficult to change. Today, therefore, let's try to understand what our behavior is and why we behave the way we do. In simple terms, behavior is the external manifestation of internal dynamics, which include our attitudes, thinking, feeling, values, and beliefs. Put it differently, behavior is the complex interplay of four important components, namely action, cognition, emotion, and physiology. Through these components, we perceive the world, interpret the world, and respond to the world. In other words, it is an individual's interpretation of the experience in the reality. Other people do not know what is happening inside our brain, but they see our behavior and judge us by our behavior. That is why it is said, today people are hired for their skills, but fired for their behavior. In life, we come across all kinds of people with all sorts of behavior. Some are exploders, others are bulldozers, some are complainers, others are backstabbers, some are gossipers, and others are whiners. And we wonder why people repeatedly behave in such ways as they do. What drives their behavior and what sustains their behavior? I guess no one does something for no reason. For example, why do some people engage in criticizing, blaming, avoiding, withdrawing, headaching, and even depressing? Why do some people choose to smile at you or hug you or move closer to you? What is the invisible force behind their visible actions? Interestingly, a good number of people attribute their behavior to the external stimuli, as though someone or something outside is causing their behavior. I have heard someone saying, my wife makes me to drink. My father's behavior makes me to shout and scream. My boss's suspicious behavior makes me to withdraw from him. Some others who operate from a victim mentality say they have no choice but behave that way. My father was an alcoholic, therefore I drink. I was abused as a child, that's why I abuse others. My husband left me, that's why I am depressed. Thus, vast majority of the people fail to take responsibility for their behavior. They keep blaming others for their actions. But the truth of the matter is that behavior is always mine. Nobody else is responsible for my behavior. It is I who behave, and my behavior is driven from within and never from outside. The external event or a stimuli can be a trigger, but never can be a cause of my behavior. Because in every situation, I am the only one making my choices. I have the choice either to choose effective behavior or ineffective behavior. I have the choice either to behave politely or rudely. I have the choice either to discuss the matter, to understand the point, or argue in order to push my point through. I have the choice either to move closer to people or move away from them. Therefore, my behavior determines the outcome. An effective behavior is likely to take you closer to what you want and be happy, whereas a negative behavior makes it difficult to get what you want. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 19, Jesus makes it clear that our behavior is driven from inside. He says, "For out of the heart come out evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false testimony, slander, and these defile a person." St. Paul too confirms what Jesus said. In Romans chapter 7 verses 15 to 25 he says, "It is our sinful nature that drives our behavior." Choice theory by William Glasser has a clear explanation as to why humans behave in a particular way. It says the driving force behind our behavior is our 5 basic human needs, such as survival, belonging, power, freedom, and fun. In order to satisfy these needs, we humans keep behaving, and when we meet these needs, we are happy. And when our needs are frustrated, and when we don't get what we want, we even choose destructive behaviors, thinking that it will give us what we want. Therefore, we don't simply behave. There is a reason why we behave in a particular way. In fact, there is a positive intention behind every behavior, and every behavior is our best attempt in a given situation to get what we want. When we are out of control, our brain prompts us to do something so that we can be in control. St. James, in his letter, chapter 4, verses 1 to 3, endorses what choice theory says. He asks, "Where do all fights and quarrels come from?" Then he goes on to say, "We want something, but we don't get it. Therefore, we fight and kill." Therefore, it is quite evident that our behavior is driven from within, and our needs are the driving force behind our behavior. Now the question is, whose behavior can we control? Do we have a control over others' behavior? Can we change others' behavior? And the answer is, the only person whose behavior I can control is mine. I can change no one. Therefore, going after someone to change their negative behavior is an impossible task. The more we try to force others to change their behavior, the more we get frustrated. People might put up a different behavior for a while in order to please you, but the real change can take place only when a person understands the reason behind his or her behavior. Owning my behavior and taking responsibility for my behavior is the only way I can find happiness in this world. Let me conclude with a quote from Henry Ford, who said, "If you do what you have always done, you will get what you have always gotten." Therefore, as you are preparing to enter the year 2021, choose to do something different, and you will get a different result.